So in today's video, I wanted to go a little bit more personal and share a challenge that I've been overcoming, and it really has been with me my whole life. And that challenge has been people pleasing. It created a lot of physical discomfort, emotional pain, and suffering that really wasn't necessary. Today, I want to share with you a little bit about the things that I did to help me overcome that in hopes that maybe if you are somebody who is a people pleaser, that you can overcome that as well, because it really isn't serving you anymore. So to understand people pleasing, they say usually the first 7 years are the most formative years. And I kind of reflected on some of the things that were going on during that time. Many of you know that I grew up in the Middle East in a war environment, which was really challenging on its own. But ultimately, when I traced this pattern of needing to people please, I always go back to the experience that I had, which was actually not having a father. And I know many of you have experienced that as well, whether it's a mom or a dad. And looking back, I understand that I needed to go through that so that I could become who I am and do what I'm doing today. However, it was a struggle where I put my desires and needs to the side to always cater to other people's desires and needs. And what was happening was I was starting to get tired. I was starting to break down physically. I wasn't taking care of myself, and it just wasn't serving me anymore. So if this is you, I want to share a few things that I did to help me overcome that. So the first thing that I did to help me overcome people pleasing was to ask myself two questions. What am I getting out of doing this? What am I getting? Because you might not even realize you're getting something. Am I getting approval? Feeling like I'm being liked? Ask yourself, what are you getting out of this experience of basically catering to everybody else? How is that serving you? What are you getting out of it? So just be with that for a moment. If you are somebody who is a people pleaser, see what that thing is for you that you're getting out of it. And once you get clear on what it is that you are getting out of that experience, the next question would be, is it worth it? Is it worth you rejecting yourself? Is it worth you not fully showing up for yourself, putting your needs and desires on the back burner? Is it worth it? See, these types of questions highlight a lot of codependencies, a lot of dysfunctional patterns that we might be contributing to without even knowing about it. This is a type of self-inquiry that really helps us come back to ourselves. So what are you getting out of it? Meaning, how is it serving you? And is it worth it? Is it worth you not showing up for yourself, not being the person that loves and adores and makes yourself a top priority? Is it worth it to get that little dopamine high from the illusion that you're getting someone's approval or somebody feels like you're fitting in with them? Is it worth it? Those types of questions started opening up the doors for me to not really concern myself so much with the need to people please, but really understanding that my experience of people pleasing was always between me and myself. And I'll tell you why. The reason why it was always between me and myself, because of some childhood trauma that I needed to look at and address and heal and resolve. One of the main things was that I didn't actually have a loving, supportive father presence in my life that many of you can also resonate with, because you might have not had that with your father or your mother. And so as we grow, we feel because we were abandoned, we were rejected, we felt like there was something wrong with us. We have to actually overcompensate in order to make people like us, love us, see us, and get their approval. But although that might have been the safest route as a child, as an adult, we don't have to continue that cycle anymore. So asking those two questions, how is it serving me and is it worth it, can start opening up the door for something much greater to emerge. So this leads us into the next step that really changed everything for me. I briefly touched upon it when I said this experience has always been between me and myself. You see, all the people in our lives are just characters in your movie reflecting things within you that might still need to be addressed. And when you take your power back and understand that life all of it. Everything that's happening is not happening to you, it's happening with you. You are now stepping into your creator role. You are not somebody that is here looking from the sidelines, waiting for life to happen. You're allowed to have that experience if you want, but you are a creator. There's a part of you deep down here to create magic, here to manifest miracles, here to heal patterns and habits and behaviors that are not serving you anymore. And that part of you has never left you. It just loved you so much. It loved you so unconditionally that it allowed the mind to go through what it needed to go through, to remember again, eventually, to get here, to come back to your true self. So the next step is really about cultivating a deep, strong relationship with yourself. You are the universe. You are everything. You are spirit. You are source. You are creator. Because of our experiences as empaths and sensitives, we have been led to believe that we are lacking something, there's something wrong with us. So we start to look outside of ourselves, from people, from the media. And you hear me talk about this often, but it's so important to understand that these are not going to fill you. They're not going to give you what you need. They're going to be fleeting. They're going to be little dopamine hits. But if you cultivate a strong awareness of who you are, where you come from, and honor that part of you daily through awareness, meditation, acknowledgement, affirmation, then you are going to start to create a completely different type of reality for yourself. Now, things are going to start coming to you, and they're going to start showing up for you, the things that you want, instead of you going and pushing and stressing and worrying to get what you want. You can still do that if you want. But personally, I love being a magnet. When I know who I am, I become the magnet. I become the source of all of my experiences. I no longer look outside of myself for the answers. Now I contemplate, I meditate, I pray, and I do whatever it takes for me to create the space to move out of mental chatter, distractions, and really connect with that divine presence within. You can do this too. This is just a reminder to help you come back to yourself. Cultivating that deep, strong connection to yourself will start to make it natural for you. Maybe in the beginning, it's not going to be natural for you, but as you build this relationship with yourself, you are going to start to want to make yourself a top priority. You're going to want to love yourself and take care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, financially. And then all of those people that you've allowed to take advantage of you, asking for you to put everything aside in not so many words so that they can get what they want from you, you will have the strength, the ability, the courage to stop that pattern. You will be able to say, you know what? Thank you so much. I'm doing my own thing right now. I'm so grateful. Now, this is not to be mistaken with caring and loving and being compassionate and understanding with people. The key is to not put yourself last. In so much of our culture, ingrained with the idea that we need to sacrifice our happiness for the happiness of others. This is absolutely not serving anyone. When you're in an airplane and they tell you that the oxygen mask, you got to place it on yourself first and then help someone else, that's what this is all about. Because when you pour into yourself, when you invest in your well-being, in your happiness, showing up for yourself, and ultimately just knowing who you really are at your deepest core, outside of all the illusions, the facades, the titles, the roles, who are you? That is going to change everything. I'll tell you who you are. You are nothing short of the universe itself. You are goddess, God, creator, source, universal energy, chi, love, peace, you name it. You are all of it. The reason why it's been so hard and you may have been suffering and struggling is simply because you're not claiming it. You're not giving yourself full permission to step into it, ascend into it. And I'm going to keep talking about it until you do. Because, my friend, you deserve that. You deserve to be abundant. You deserve to be prosperous. You deserve to be healthy and happy. You deserve to receive as much as you give. So that's the next thing that I did. And hopefully any of that resonates with you so that you can start adapting it. And ultimately, it doesn't have to be hard. Just take a few minutes a day and connect with the part of you that is much greater than what you are thinking yourself to be in this moment. So, one simple thing that I do to help me connect to that part of me, that source, universe energy, I close my eyes. I imagine what it would be like to see the Earth from space. And then I imagine what it's like to see our solar system from space. And then I imagine what it's like to see the entire universe from space. And then I expand beyond that because there's a lot of universes and a lot of planets and a lot of stars and so many celestial bodies. So I keep expanding out, out, out. And what happens is that helps create an aerial view. And the more you do that, the more your consciousness expands because now you're simply acknowledging the oneness with all of it. All of that is you. You are not separate from that. Even though your mind might think so, your consciousness, your energy, your spirit is part of all of it. You are all of it. All right. And then the final thing that might be really helpful to you that has helped me tremendously when it comes to people pleasing is to actually let all the people that really love you and you love that you feel are close to you, let them know that you are on a journey to shift some of these patterns within yourself. You may have noticed there's been some imbalances there where you are not taking care of yourself, not nurturing yourself, not honoring your needs. And we don't expect them to do that. That's going to be a call for disappointment over and over again. It's you that you need. When we get resentful, when we feel disappointed in others, it's because the balance is off. It means that we are overdoing something and they are underdoing something. And the most effective way to transcend that is to verbalize it and to express yourself and let them know in the most loving way that there's been a little bit of an imbalance and you're going to take some time to tend to yourself so that you don't place any expectations on them and resentments. And of course, ask them to give you the same honor and grace as well. This might not go over very well at first because a lot of relationships, sometimes there's codependencies. So they might be relying on you to show up in that way. So give them the time, and you can even explain that to them that if they're feeling a certain way about it, it's simply just because that codependency is changing and evolving into something much more productive and much healthier. So vocalizing, expressing yourself, those who really care about you, those who really love you might actually surprise you and tell you, oh my gosh, what can I do to help you? What can I do to support you? I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize that I was doing that. And some people, they might not be too happy, and that's okay. Some people, that'll give you the kind of clarity that you need to know if you want to continue having that close relationship where you put yourself last and make their needs more important than you or not. So those are the three things that have helped me tremendously overcome the people-pleasing gene. I know it's a journey, I know it's a process, and there are so many other things that you can do, but just know that you are worthy and you are deserving of love. You are worthy and deserving of being loved. And I'm not just saying that by others. You are worthy and deserving of receiving your own love and your own approval and your own acceptance. You deserve that because when you give it to yourself, you no longer need it from others. You will receive it from others, but you no longer need it from others. All right? With that being said, if you're enjoying this channel, please subscribe, like, comment. It helps the algorithm. I'm so grateful for you. Have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon.